Let's start with the first placement question on C programming language. The topic we will be dealing with this code that I have taken is hexadecimal, octal, binary, and decimal. In any engineering program or any degree program that you have studied, they would have taught you why it is necessary to convert from decimal to other number systems, hexadecimal, octal, or and binary. If not in degree, even in PU colleges, sometimes they would have taught you this in India. Now, this is the code that we have taken, which is in a C program. This code is related to the concept of the number systems. We are using hash include stdio.h preprocessor directive in order to do the printf. We are using the printf statement and void main, which is the entry point of the C program, and there is one variable x which is of integer type. It is declared and initialized to 028. 028 is not equal to 28 in decimal, and later we are printing that value of x within the format specifier as percentage d. Now, here one thing we want you to understand is X is a 4 byte because the question is given as assume 32-bit compiler. So we know sometimes short int is 2 bytes and int is 4 bytes, long int is 8 bytes. And in other times they tell short int and int are 2 bytes and long int is 4 bytes or 8 bytes. So when we tell 32-bit compiler, we mean to say that integer is 4 bytes, and when we just write 0 to 8 on paper, we just mean 0 to 8 is equal to 28. But for the compiler or the C code, 0 to 8 is not equal to 28 in decimal. When you are initializing an integer value and we start with the number 0, that means it is an octal representation. This was one of the coding questions that was asked in Cypress Semiconductors. Now, the options, when we run this code, what would be the answer? The options are given like this: compiler time error or compile time error. Some garbage value will be printed, or 018 itself would be printed. Then 1818 would itself would be printed, or 1 5 will be printed. And what is the correct answer when we run this? It is compiler time error or error basically. Why? As I told, when we are starting to initialize an integer and it starts with 0, it is an octal number, and octal number is between 0 to 7 if you know the number systems. So 0 to 8 is not a valid octal number at all, therefore it will throw compile error at this initialization point itself. Now if we modify this code, okay, little bit, say I want you to try this quiz, which is similar to the previous one. Now it is 0x2a. This 0x indicates it is hexadecimal number. What is the output of this particular code? Please try this, and I will run this and show that compile time error is what we get. Can use any online compiler, or just type online compiler. You can take any of them. I'll just take C online compiler, and I'll copy paste the same program. They've used int main here. Maybe I just can copy paste these two lines. So printf, after our x is printed, it should print try programming pro. So if you see here, it is showing some error, invalid digit 8 in octal constant. How do you know it is octal constant? When we are initializing, the first we are taking is 0, that means it becomes octal. Now say if I print it in 027 and run, the error will go and it will print the value. What is it printing? It is not printing 027 or 27, it is printing 23. Why? Because if we convert octal number 27 to in percentage d, as we know format specifier is for integer, so to that is in decimal, it becomes 23. You can just type octal to binary converter, and you get many links. Octal to binary, the octal number say 27, I press convert to, so in decimal it is 23. The format specifier used is percentage d. That's why it is showing 20. 3 as the answer instead of 0 to 8. If we remove that, 8 is not an octal digit. We can experience the same output even on Turbo C++. I'm opening Turbo C++ now. If not an online compiler is not good when you want to know what is the default value of a local variable. Some default values, it will initialize everything to 0. So that's why it is not good to go with online compilers. It is just a quick fix. So we can go to say go to file, and then new. If you have already typed, you can use that hash include stdio.h. See, if you open the online compiler, the template was already there. Void main, then int x is equal to 0 to 8. Now only it is showing red, indicating that it is an error. Then printf percentage d, then print the variable x in the integer format. At close. Then go to file, save as or save. You can choose a particular project. Inside that, I've created one more folder. Um, you can give one name and save it with .c extension. File, save as. You can click here and save it with .c extension. Say programming 1.c. Okay. Now go to compile. So during compile time itself, it will show error telling illegal octal digit. So I can correct this maybe 0 to 7, and then we can see the same output, which I will not be doing for now. On the similar lines, we can also try out this other question. So 0 to 8 is not a valid octal digit. Why octal is only between 0 to 7? And how do we know it is octal? Because we are starting with 0. If you remove this error, it will print the decimal value of this octal digit. We can try on similar lines. Here x is initialized in hexadecimal. How do we know that it is 0x2a? I don't think 0x2a is an illegal hexadecimal number. It is a valid hexadecimal number. So if you print this in decimal, so what is the equivalent of 2a hexadecimal number 2a? Its equivalent in decimal that would be printed. Uh, Please try this out and let me know the answer in the next session.